Greetings, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we look at another indie game. This time we're checking out the Chant. The Chant is a new survival horror game developed by Brass Token and published by Prime Matter. These are the guys who created the excellent Pathfinder Kingmaker series, a game I would love to play at some point in the future. Now this is a survival horror game taking its cues from classics like Resident Evil and The Evil Within. It has an interesting setting, an island where there is a cult worshipping a supernatural entity, and I love the idea of the game. Now keep in mind this is going to be a long one, so strap yourself in as we play the first part of the Chant. We're going to start a new campaign on the Magister difficulty because I'm a masochist like that.
It can be difficult to know where to begin. You may not realize it, but you are sacred. Add your voices! It's working. Let the cosmic vibrations flow through your being. Daughter, hand me the final prism. Take your place. Where has she gone? Find her. Bring her back to me. Now! We are doomed without her.
So we start off right in the thick of it as a pregnant woman who has decided to not open a gateway to hell. Well, we're not going that way. Time to run.
She's trying to run!
If any of those cultists catch us, then it's curtains for us and our baby. Nope, we're not going that way. We don't know what this stuff is, but it definitely doesn't seem like a very friendly place for a child.
Stop her!
Oh, they're right up my clacker. Need to get past this guy. Give her the old 1-2, the old Glasgow kiss. Only time will tell whether her decision has saved or doomed her child.
Well, Kim.
Hi, this is Kim. I may be off the grid right now. Please leave a message after the beep. Hey, Kim. It's me. Jess. Maybe we should talk about, So, yeah, that thing you mentioned, the retreat, I'm in.
Jess. It's been a long time.
I've missed you.
How have you been, Kim?
You know, I feel good. I mean, look at this place.
It's beautiful.
We've got a ways to go until camp. Let's talk on the way up. Come on, we've got a lovely hike to get to the retreat.
Hike? I thought this was supposed to be relaxing.
You'll be fine. It'll be good for you.
So, I guess I know why you invited me.
I appreciate you coming, Jess. We have a lot of history, you and I.
Now this game graphically, it's not the most prettiest game out there. The character models are a little low poly, but it's not really the visuals of this game that drew me in. It's the setting, the soundtrack, the story and the characters. This game does a
I haven't
really
thought
good
about it
job
for a long
of setting up an
You
atmosphere.
always carried it with you.
I did. But I'm finding a way to move on.
I guess this place really helped you.
Honestly, for the first time in my life, I feel whole. Tyler is so inspiring.
I'm happy for you, Kim.
I'm telling you, Jess, being here is going to change your life.
She's right about that, but not for the
Let's hurry
better.
up. There's something I want to show you. This way.
So what's Tyler like?
Tyler is like no one I've ever met. He's a very special teacher who has such depth. He really understands me.
Right. And what's with the clothes?
We wear all white to help us focus on our unique energy. We have some for you back at the camp.
Now this game's very story heavy. They're in the early game, but there is some
watch yourself on the
survival and combat elements in the game. There's a little bit of light puzzle elements as well. If you enjoyed games like The Evil Within, if you played Resident
Did you remember
Evil,
to bring the letter?
it's
Yeah,
kind
but
of similar.
Honestly, felt a bit weird writing to my future self.
You'll feel great as soon as you mail the letter. There's a box for it up ahead. Look! Isn't it incredible? The views here are so energizing.
Despite the character models being a little low, the environment's quite nice. Now, one of the things in the game that I really like is they've got a...
Can we talk about this more when we
Oh.
arrive?
There's no rush. I'll meditate here while you mail the letter.
I was going to explain that there's a Mass Effect style a conversation system, and depending on what answers you give, it not only affects your relationship with the different members of the cult, it also affects your stats. So you've actually got 3 stats you need to worry about. You've got your sanity, you've got your physical health, and you've got your spiritual energy. And all of these hitting 0 will cause all sorts of problems for you.
I guess I can just place it inside.
Nothing sus?
No, Kim!
Now, because we're playing as a character that has some deep trauma, we can suffer from panic attacks and other
Relax. What's wrong?
sanity-related
There are
effects.
flies everywhere.
Here, let me show you how to calm your mind. This is a trick Tyler taught me. Position your body like this. Now, breathe in.
Okay, I do feel better. Maybe this wasn't such a silly idea.
We better get back to the retreat before sundown.
So we do have a limited supply of
So you asked me
sanity.
here to help you heal. What
And we can
exactly
restore
did you
this
mean?
by finding
Not just
items in
me.
the environment.
Both of us. I think we both need to heal. I mean, she was your sister. It must have really hurt.
Yes, she was my sister, but it wasn't my fault. I'm fine, Kim. Just leave it alone.
Okay, Jess. Let's just enjoy the hike.
Now, I know there's a lot of dialogue in this game and the start's very slow, but I do urge you to keep going. The game does
Sage
ramp up
grows all
after
over
the
this
after the
island.
intro.
Take some. I'm going to show you a little trick. This island is filled with natural wonders. Let's get going.
Here we can use some of the light crafting system in the
The
game.
terrain here gets a bit rough.
What's with the bare feet, Kim? Doesn't that hurt?
Shoes are forbidden in the retreat. Don't worry. You'll get used to it.
Somehow I think that's gonna be a problem later in the game, running around an island full of sharp items with nothing but bare feet. I'm hoping we're not going to end up with a John McClane sort of situation with
Just
running around on
stay
broken
calm.
glass.
Kim, you know I hate flies.
I told you I was going to teach you a little trick. First, you need to find some twine.
So the game doesn't have traditional weapons. We're not a traditional, we're not a police officer or a security guard. We don't have access to firearms, but we do have access to our various spiritual and herbal remedies, which we can use to
Have to do.
drive away some of the enemies. And I think that's a really nice take on it, because you often go into these situations and the person's kind of, hoorah, got a gun, can carry 100 guns and can blow
Will this do?
Now just
everything
wrap
away.
the twine around the sage leaves. Not bad. It took me a few tries my first time. But shot.
Disgusting.
Okay, let's get going. After you.
Now, most of the flora and fauna on the island is hostile, so we need to be very careful.
Put that out yet.
We'll get access to ranged weapons later on.
Okay, I think that's it.
By the way, what's with those structures back there?
Tyler's family used to run a commune in the 70s. There's a lot of awesome art on the island.
So I really do like the way that they've handled the inventory system in this game too. You can't carry hundreds and hundreds of items. You can only really carry 1 or 2 healing items, which means you need to be very clever about how you use your items and also try and avoid damage as much as possible. Survival games often let you'll get to a point where and even in the Resident Evil games and the Evil Within, if you get enough items, you're able to carry around enough ammo to kill an army.
Don't you have a flashlight?
It's fine. Just follow my voice.
So her
Damn, I can't see
traumas
shit
are
in
all around loss and grief.
Okay.
She's scared of flies, she's scared of darkness, a lot of symbolism that's related to death. The death of her sisters really messed with her mental. and coming
Thanks
to this
for leaving
island
me in there.
is an attempt
Oh, come
to
on.
fix that.
Are we almost there? I'm getting kind of hungry.
It's just up ahead. Wait until you try Maya's cooking. Here we are.
Wow.
I told you it was amazing.
For once, Kim, this lives up to your stories.
So they've done an excellent job on the landscape.
Everyone here is so
I'm
welcome.
used to playing indie games, and
Don't get in over
it's
your
it's
head.
nice to feast your eyes on something a little bit more visually spectacular now and again. And I kind of had to stop and pinch myself and remember this technically is an indie game, albeit with a much larger budget than most. It is an indie game, and it's actually one of my favourites this year.
Hannah!
You must be Jess. Everyone's excited to finally meet you. Kim has already shared so much. That is Sunny. And Maya. Welcome to our humble retreat. I hope the walk here wasn't too difficult.
Welcome. I understand it took some convincing, but we're so glad you came. Kim is a good friend to you, and that makes you a good friend to us. I'm sure you have many questions, but isn't that how our spiritual journey begins?
Honestly, I'm not a very spiritual person.
We're all here to support each other. Kim truly desires to heal the wounds, both hers and yours.
Yeah. That's why I'm here too. It's just a bit intense.
I understand. Why don't you get settled in? Get to know the others a little better before tonight's session.
That guy really gives off some Charles Manson sort of vibes.
Go introduce yourself to the others, then meet me at my tent.
I don't really know anyone.
Everyone here is friendly. Just go.
So the next thing we want to do is get to know most of the members of the cult. Oh, sorry, the retreat, not the cult. This certainly doesn't give me some Heaven's Gates vibes. Everything here is all on the up and up. We're all good.
Hey, I hear you're a developer.
Hey, Jess, right? You probably heard about the Spirit Ember Festival I started. It was going to ignite change. But my dad and brother pulled the plug and let everyone down. Check these out. Tyler and I are going to take my ideas and transform this island into something glorious. A true spiritual paradise. Amazing, right?
Yeah, this guy sounds like a wacko. Let's
It's a good idea, but maybe it's a little too commercial.
It's worth it to invest in your spirit. And if there is money to be made, my family will see it through. Just go watch my orientation video to learn all about it. It's near Tyler's Dome.
This is totally not a pyramid scheme. Prismic Spiritual Retreat. Okay, this is the assessment form. Sunny, are you ready for the Prismatic Spiritual Retreat? What do you hope to get out of participating? I have a deep spiritual understanding of my place in the world. I know Guru Tyler can help me achieve even higher levels of consciousness. I also want to help others grow spiritually, and I think I can help Guru Tyler develop the Prismic Spiritual Retreat's physical location to help grow his mission. What's your state of mind? I'm surrounded by a great cloud that prevents others from seeing my light. Sometimes I blame other people, but I know the answer lies within myself. I have to find a way to get rid of the cloud. What's your personal demon? To fail. I'm a real type A successful kind of guy, and I hate the thought of losing or failing. Are you taking any medication? I mean, that's the first question I asked when I walked in and asked him, okay, I've done recreational drugs, no surprise there. I've cut them out of my life a few years ago, doubtful, except for the occasional party. Well, at least he's honest. I mean, something tells me there's a lot of recreational drugs going on here. Now, for every note we find and read, we also get some experience. So there's some light RPG mechanics in the game. And when I say light, they're very light. So I would have really liked to see a bit more of an open world. It is very much a linear path in this game. There are certain areas blocked off until you find them later on. What I will do though, since we're here, is grab some goodies. Oh, damn it. Get out of here. I mean, this woman would not want to live in Australia. Flies are a way of life over here. There we go. We've got a bit of everything. Might smash down some lavender and get my... actually, I can probably do a bit of meditation. And this will, if I can eat some of these magic mushrooms, of course, nothing sus.
Is this all in my head? I better grab another.
There we go. Beautiful. Alright, I'm gonna hang on to a little bit of spiritual energy because that powers a lot of your special abilities. We may need that later on. I can probably smash down one of these.
Relaxing, but I should save some for Maya.
Beautiful. So now I've got my my mental sorted out. We need to go and talk to the rest of the camp.
That smells amazing. What is it?
It's my coriander leek soup. I do what I can to keep everyone healthy.
Is there anything I can do to help?
I think I might be missing some ingredients for tonight's tea. Could you gather me some lavender, ginger root, and a spirit cap?
I will forage away.
So we skipped a step here. I knew I had to get these ingredients, so we've already got them.
Maya, I think I have what you were looking for.
Perfect. Just leave them on the counter. Wow, these are measured perfectly. Have you done this before?
Actually, I work in biomedicine. I used to spend a lot of time doing field work, but lately it's boring desk work.
I see. Don't they do animal testing? Doesn't that seem wrong?
Man,
I'm not involved in that, but it's considered a necessity in the field.
It's not my place to say, but killing animals shouldn't be necessary for anything. Don't tell Hannah that. She's a big animal lover.
I'll think on that. I really should get back to Kim.
something tells me I'm not going to be able to get a burger here, and it seems like they're probably smoking more of these herbs than they're eating, but we'll move on, shall we? Now, the next thing we have to do is have a look at this guy's
Should we be doing this tonight?
presentation. Oh, hello.
But now's the time.
I just want to make sure everyone is comfortable. Remember the last time?
Babe, stop worrying so much. It'll be fine. You've done an amazing job.
Let's go and find out about our Manson-esque leader, our glorious cult leader.
Oh, hey. We were just discussing tonight's session. Are you ready for a change?
Let's
The
say
energy of
spiritual.
this place is already making a difference.
Hannah, please come.
We'll see you tonight.
Did that work? Did I manage to bluff my way past? Yeah, he's up to something. Never trust a peace and love sort of guy with a beard and a bit of herb. Especially if he's got his own little retreat and people are walking around in
Looks
robes.
like the orientation room.
Okay, let's see what our
Open your mind.
our businessman has in plan for the island.
Real spiritual opportunity here. Prismic science is the key to profound realignment of your entire way of being. You may be asking, what is prismic science and how does it work? Scientific and mathematical principles applied to spiritual growth in a way that gives real results. Do you want people in your life to understand your true value? Do you? Then prismic science will help your light shine bright. I wasn't a spiritual guy, but when I began to understand prismic science, I found a key to profound realignment of my life's purpose. It changed my life, and it will change yours. Welcome to the Prismic Spiritual Retreat, and prepare for your life to never be the same.
You got that right. Just because you put the word science at the end of something doesn't make it scientific. Dad, please read the whole letter before you make up your mind. The retreat concept I talked to you last time, I think it has real legs. I promise to give you a proper breakdown when I see you next. Spreadsheets, a sexy slide deck, and proper financials. All the things I know you'd like. But let me give you some back of the envelope numbers right now. The land value here is easy 2.5 to 3 mil. The value of the current structures isn't much, but they have some charm. There's a brand here already, so what I'm thinking is we invest 2 mil for a 40% stake. Maybe 100k goes to marketing with most of the rest to construction. I'll be in charge of operations. Tyler's hopeless with numbers, so I channel the bulk of the money, at least 1.5 mil, but probably more towards our companies, meaning it's straight revenue. I know Jamie will work out the bottom line here, but I'm confident we can make it attractive. The initial target capacity is 20 beds. Guru Tyler thinks he can do to retreats for 2,500 a week, at least 20 weeks a year with his current network. The kicker is that staffing cost will be zero, as his disciples will be happy to volunteer. Oh good, slave labour. I'll be able to direct supply and services contractors to appropriate vendors, and as Guru Tyler's brand and network grows, these numbers will grow. There's some interesting minerals on the property. They used to be mined commercially. I don't want to get into too much detail, as I think the retreat concept stands on its own. There's potentially additional revenue. I'll follow up and let you know. Look, I know you'll be skeptical after what happened last time, but there's some real solid potential here. I can feel it. Okay, yeah, this guy's on some real... He's trying to corporatize cults. I mean, it's been done before. I mean, as long as you're willing to risk the end of the world. Okay, so this is her friend Maya. Are you ready for the Prismic Spiritual Retreat? Yes. What do you hope to get out of participating? It's my desire to create and savor transient moments of transcendent joy. Oh man, she's drinking the Kool-Aid already. And beauty alongside kindred spirits. It's my hope that we can connect and learn from one another. Your state of mind. I carry with me an immense grief. I lost my beautiful son Sever to illness. Okay, so now we see the common bond between these two women. My path to fulfillment requires me to become more comfortable with how I carry that sorrow. I cannot leave it behind, because to leave it behind would be to abandon my memory of my precious child. What makes you the most afraid? I'm not afraid of anything. Nothing could be worse than what has already happened. I suppose my demon is my inability to change the past. Okay, and she's taking some natural medicine. I mean, ironically, her friend seems to be the most well-adjusted out of all the people here. And I would wager that's because she spent the least amount of time on the island and has the least amount of negative influence from what's on here. Now, of course, I know what it is, but
This is wild.
we'll be experiencing it firsthand in a moment.
Hey, Jess, over here. Jess, Tyler left some gifts inside for you. Try them on.
Is this really necessary?
As Tyler says, we have to trust the spiritual journey.
Whatever Tyler says. Well, one size fits all. How do I look?
Like a cultist?
Like one of us.
Kim, doesn't this all feel a little bit culty?
Don't be silly. This is good for us.
Join us. Join the collective. We need those they live signs up, like obey, reproduce.
Welcome. Come. Join us. Sit. Drink. As the sacred tea opens your third eye, you will sense the gloom pour forth from your very soul. Let it pour as a cloud of negative energy forms. This prism was a gift from my mother, as the ones you wear are my gift to you. The chant charges the prism, tuning you into the energy that surrounds us all. Starting with Hannah, add your voice to the chant as we move around the circle.
Nothing sus.
As the cloud glows violently with all your negative energy, prepare to destroy it with a collective chant.
Stop blaming me! It's not my fault!
Kim! Don't break the circle. Sit back down. Damn it!
Don't swim out. What had happened? Where is everyone? I've got to find Kim.
Now, I would love to keep playing the game. In fact, this is where things start to get interesting, but the next section is quite lengthy. If you would like to see more of this, I would love to do a part 2, but for now, I think this is more than enough to give you an idea of whether you want to play the game. If you are a fan of games like Resident Evil, The Evil Within, any of those Shinji Mikami style horror games, horror survival, this is right up your alley. It has a bit of a slow beginning, but from here it really does get very good. I'm a bit further into the campaign, and I can definitely attest to the fact this game does become a little more action oriented. There's a bit of combat, a bit of puzzle solving. It's a fantastic game, and it is actually, in my opinion, a sleeper hit this year. There's not a lot of good survival horror games, and this is definitely a bit of a surprise. I'm actually surprised the developer gave the key to such a small channel like mine. So if you want to see more, leave me a comment, and hopefully you'll join me next time when we look at another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.